What's going on, everyone? So, we got some very interesting news in regards to two characters in particular on the upcoming Scream 7 movie, Mason Gooding, as well as Celeste, Celeste, we don't know what role and character she's going to play yet. However, Mason Gooding, we know he plays Chad Meeks. And this could signal that both are going to die in the upcoming Scream film. Now, could also mean that, there's some just brutal attack or something like that. But we have two stand-ins that are being looked for. They are hiring stand-ins for both of those both of those actor and actress. We are excited to announce our newest project, Scar Tissue, which is the working title for Scream 7, a fun slasher thriller horror film. Again, Scream 7, seeking stand-ins. Experience preferred but not mandatory. Dates 1/7, 1/8, 1/9, 1/15, 1/16, 1/17, 1/24, and 1/28, which is only 8 days. So that means it's only 8 days of filming that they would need those stand-ins. Does that mean that that's how many days that both Celeste and Mason are going to be filming? It's kind of interesting, right? Location in and around Atlanta, rating 196/12. Stand-in number 6, African-American female, a lighter skin tone, 5'7", thin-framed, age 18 to 30. And then African-American male, lighter skin tone, 6'1", fit frame, again, 18 to 30. So we know that Mason Gooding is returning to this upcoming Scream film. And again, this isn't like, oh, that's it, he's dead. But it is a very good sign, right? We'll put it that way. Because we have seen this in the past. We have seen this with we've had other kind of casting calls and stuff like that leak out. And for various actors that was like, oh, we need a stand-in body double for that. And then that character died. Now we have had the same things, however, for, like Nev Campbell, Gail Weathers and stuff. So all it means is that there's going to be something physical. There's going to be something is going to happen to Mason Gooding as well as Celeste O'Connor, right? Those two are definitely gonna something's happening, right? A lot of speculation since Mason Gooding signed on as Chad again. That is he gonna be the opening scene kill? Is he gonna be the one that is going to be attacked? Will he die at some point? Look, if they're going to go and do a Scream 6 thing again, or even a Scream 5, kill him this time, right? I know people have looked and gone oh, well, look at Dewey. Dewey got stabbed once in both instances, right? Scream 96, he gets stabbed in the back and the knife gets left in him and he just falls. And then in Scream 2, which, yes, was a little silly, but gets stabbed 2 times, and then they said it's scar tissue, and then that's it. We watched Chad get brutalized, oh my gosh, type, in both. Once was with, him, laying there, just taking stabbings, and then the car pulls up, and, okay, fine, you want to argue that kind of saved him, right? Saved by the bell type thing? Sure, okay. Scream 5, I got on board. Now, thought it was a little silly, but sure, we've seen crazier things, right? But then Scream 6, he is getting stabbed everywhere, literally all over his entire body by not one, but 2 Ghostface killers. 2. And he just walks it off. It's just wild. So, look, again, if you're going to do that, I'm not saying he can't be in a compromised position or maybe, get stabbed in the shoulder or something crazy like that, right? Again, we're used to characters getting stabbed or cut or whatever and surviving. It happens. Even Sydney, right? It happens. But it's the level and the degree in which we have seen, again, characters like Chad get brutally stabbed. I don't want that. If you're just, if he get sliced or, get stabbed in the side or something like that, it's it takes off running, he survives, fine. But if he's just getting just brutalized again, then yes, can we stop doing that with this character? But I do think it's very interesting. And things are kind of starting to line up for him, right? Like, he's kind of the last remains. Well, not kind of. I mean, he is the last remains of the core four, unless we end up getting his sister, Mindy Meeks, who Jasmine Savoy Brown kind of teased an announcement, and then it turned out that it was a podcast, so it wasn't Scream 7. So could she end up being in this film going forward? It's possible. But if Chad's by himself, like if it's just going to be Chad, I am even more confident that he's going to die. I'm already pretty confident he's going to die in this film and very likely be the opening scene. I think that this casting call thing just made those likelihood chances that much more. But, again, stand-ins, not the same, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to die. However, if they don't get his sister involved and stuff, which, I mean, he could still die with his sister, but I just think it's a little less likely, then I am, like, incredibly confident that Chad is a goner, personally. But moving on to Celeste. So Celeste O'Connor, again, we have no idea what her role is, what character she's going to be in this upcoming film. Now, look, out of all the new cast members, there's going to be most, if not all of them, are going to die. But that there's going to be one or two that are just essentially throwaways, right? Like, we had like Vince, for example, in Scream 5, right? So that there's going to be a character or two or several, right? Like, you even had like Jason and Greg was the actor from Spider-Man and stuff, right? Like, so, which, by the way, Celeste was in Madam Web, so is there a connection? Maybe she's the opening scene kill, right? Just something of interest, but no, like, that there's going to be, people are going to die. It's a slasher film, unless it's Scream 6. If it's Scream 6, then nobody's going to die, right? Unless you're just like, the background characters. But if you got to imagine that there's going to be a handful of characters that die, and some are going to die very early. So Celeste dying potentially early, I do think makes some sense. Again, both of them are being looked at for 8 days of filming. So the fact that they're only going to be there for 8 days is pretty interesting. Now, again, that doesn't mean that Mason, right, and Celeste are only going to film for 8 days. That's just when they need the stand-ins. So it is very possible that, they're filming for 20 days. And, and then Chad and Celeste end up, needing the stand-ins for that 8. Right? Like, just for the attack scenes or whatever, right? So it's very possible that this could go several ways, but it's going to be interesting. I think it's very odd. Ghostface is coming to town. And we got some stand-ins for some actresses, an actress and an actor that are, very likely, especially Chad. People already, as soon as we saw him, myself and many others were like, oh, he's dead. There's the opening scene, right? Like the Cotton Weary type thing, right? Did a whole video on that. Check that video out after this video, but, did a whole video, break it down like, hey, Chad, Cotton Weary, right? Scream 5 and 6 is really kind of mirrored the original trilogy. Well, what happened in Scream 3? Oh, yeah, that's right. Cotton died. Cotton could be the new, or Chad could be the new Cotton. Just saying. But, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, yes, this confirms these two are goners? They're done. They're cooked. It's sort of the opposite, right? Like, they're definitely there to be attacked. They're definitely there to, be confronted by Ghostface, and some chaos is going to ensue in that regard, but that doesn't necessarily mean or necessarily lead to their potential deaths, because again, that's not confirmation that they die, right? Want to make that clear. It is increasingly likely, right? It is very, eyebrow raising. I'll say that, but again, usually the stand-ins could be used for a million things. I mean, the stand-ins could be used not even for attacks, right? It could just be, there's a danger area, or they're going to do something. Like, it'd be a million things, right? But it's Scream. It's a slasher franchise. Ghostface killing people. Mason Gooding's back. I think it's kind of safe to say that he's potentially going to die. But also, do you want Mason to die? It's probably another good question. Do you want to see Mason die, or do you want him to live? Do you want to see Chad kind of continue through these movies, kind of be like the new era Dewey, right? Which they are very enamored with Mason, right? Like, that's why he didn't die in Scream 5, because they liked him so much. So, just kind of things to keep in mind. But anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.